It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
A great day indeed. Oh, here's the Blain Meister. We'll just get him on here. Good day, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. You got y'all ready to roll?
All ready to roll.
Okay, good man. Good thing this obviously isn't rehearsed or anything like that. Kind of, got hit with a double shot with my email from Le Canadien de Montréal saying, "Oh, we signed Alex Texier to a 1-year, $1 million contract. Oh, and yeah, and by the way, we called up Adam Engstrom. That probably should have been the first thing that they sent me, but anyway, Alexandre Texier. Let's just bring up his exciting stat line here. 8 games played this year, 1 secondary assist. He's averaged 10 minutes in ice time. So in 82 minutes of ice time this year, he has 1 secondary assist. I think they were he had a $4 million contract or something like that, Blaine.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah.
So wasn't quite living up to the price tag, and St. Louis terminated his contract. Montreal is the lucky recipient, I guess. We'll see. It's like they needed the clone Joe Veleno, and they said, "Hey, boom." But actually, I think the main reason is Doug Armstrong's not doesn't sound like he's going to invite like Dobson or Matheson or maybe even Nick might not even get an invite. So get Texier and up your representation at the Olympics.
Well, there's that, and just by adding him, he helps them get better.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, obviously with the 4 injuries to the forwards, they need guys to sit in the stands and to be the 12th forward, and I think they want Laval to do well, right? So you send back down Josh Roy, you maybe Flo or Davidson gets sent back down eventually here too, probably, because you want Laval to. I don't know that either of them are necessarily ready for full-time NHL roles. So you bring up, Veleno's played better too. He looks like he should probably stay in the lineup. So
yeah.
It's a 13th guy basically is what they're and maybe can fill in here and there. Mind you, I liked what I saw from Florian Jacki in his first game, and Davidson's looked okay. So, it remains to be seen if one of those guys gets sent back down. But I think what happens here is Joshua Waugh goes back, and Texier sits in the stands. What do you think?
I think that for this road trip that they're about to go on, it's good to have the additional veteran player, someone who's proven that he can play in the NHL. He's got about 250 games, somewhere along those lines. So he's got the experience to it.
Right. Yeah, somewhere in there,
Yeah. So here's a guy who can play with a little bit of speed, some pace in a bottom 6. He is not physical, but he's got the size where he can take a couple of hits and keep going. Really, he's like you said, he's the 13th guy. He's filler. They don't want to keep calling guys up so that they sit in the box or in the press box or only get like 8 to 10 minutes a game. This way they can keep them in Laval. They can play those bigger minutes, bigger roles, and they'll be better prepared for next season when some of them are probably going to be graduating anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I see Texier. I looked at his the last 3 seasons. He has 3 times as many giveaways as hits. I don't see that as a flattering stat, and
Unless you're Santa Claus.
no. So hey, good one. So this guy's just a hey, if they get another injury, you can plug him in.
Yeah.
Also, he has taken 48 faceoffs in the last 3 years. Never more than one in a game. So don't be expecting him, even though he's left-handed shot. Don't be looking for him to be playing at center. Cappy with his ambidextrous faceoff, able to switch hands either way, still better option than Texier with no. He hasn't been taking draws for 3 years. He did play center some in the NHL before that, but don't be looking for him to come in and be taking draws.
If anything, it'll help him integrate into the system a little simpler, a little easier. Well, he'll be able to play that more fluid F1, 2, and 3 role that the St. Louis likes to play, where after the face-off, it's fluid.
Right.
And to be honest, I mean, if it wasn't for all of these injuries, they wouldn't have even bothered calling Dan Milstein.
No. Well, gives the press one more guy that they can talk to in Francais too. Ask him about how the game's going, and like how did the game look from the press box last night, Alex? Stuff like that. But no, he'll obviously be comfortable in Montreal. Fair to say. And hey, as an extra guy, why not? He's got NHL experience. The price tag, it didn't cost him any assets. It cost him $1 million on a 1-year deal. And maybe even down the road when they start getting injuries back, try send them to Laval, and he could, he might be comfortable playing in Montreal, in Laval, and I don't think he wanted to necessarily go to the minors, probably given $4 million contract or whatever. Well, St. Louis didn't want. I'm sure the owner didn't want to be paying him $4 million to send him to Springfield, but he'd probably be more comfortable with the idea of going to Laval to play if, when guys come back from injury too, and he could help. Like, he'd be a good AHLer, right? So.
Oh, he'd be a top line AHLer,
right?
For sure.
Yeah. So there's that option too down the road, right? And it's only $1 million price tag for a guy that will be probably a first line AHLer, right? If he goes down. So.
Which means if they do send him down, his cap does not remain. None of the cap hit remains with the Canadiens. So that's a big selling feature too. And I just looked up his last contract. It's $2.1 million.
Okay.
So $2.1 million just to be rid of him.
Yeah. Okay. Was he only making $2.1 million?
Yeah, that was the cap hit. The value was $4.2 million over the 2-year deal. Yeah.
Okay. I read something 4 million, but I guess it was the total. But still,
it's a no risk move. It's a veteran guy who can play in the bottom 6, can sit in the press box and come out and play once every 10 games if you need that, or send him down without any cap hit and play on a top line in the AHL for a team that you want to see them go deep in the Calder Cup playoffs.
Exactly. And he has killed some penalties in the past before, and he can, the Canadiens need some bodies for that as well. So, hey, I don't mind the move. It's not an
It's a good
exciting
move.
one. I mean, we're doing this special podcast just because of it. Well, no, actually not. The main reason is Adam Engstrom getting called up. Now, this could be a nothing burger, right? It remains to be seen. I mean, there's a few possibilities here, right? He might get the Del Gaizo treatment and just be up to, have that extra body,
I don't
come
know.
practice. What's that?
I don't know if he's going to get that kind of treatment. To me, if they wanted to bring a guy on the road trip to just sit, it
Del
would be Del
Gaizo.
Gaizo.
Right. Well, that's why I say it's possibility that he just comes to have that extra body, right, for the 3 games.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. Like you say, if they wanted to do that, it'd be Del Gaizo that probably got called up this time. Although it's hard not to call him up this time after, 5 points game, 3-game goal streak. You give these guys a cookie, right? Like Davidson deserved the call up and he got it. He was like second or third in goals in the AHL. Engstrom, he is well, let's have a look here. He's second in the AHL in scoring among defensemen now.
That 5-point game on on Saturday sure helped too.
Sure,
Yeah.
but 3-game goal scoring streak, overtime winner, 3 nice goals. He's playing like he fully deserves a call up. So, you call up the guys that deserve it, and you give them, you let them practice, and if they look good in practice, bring them on a road trip. See if the Swede will get along with the Finn Kapanen, and see if there's some chemistry. Going to be some chemistry there down the road. No, it just. There's also the possibility of, well, I mean, this is a tough road trip. If they go into Utah and, I don't know, Jack-Eye stinks up the joint, right? I don't expect Engstrom to play in the next game, but bring him up, get him practicing, get him, accustomed. Everybody played well in the last game. It wouldn't make sense to punish any of them by bringing them out of the lineup, right? But if one of them struggles, and one of them being Struble or Jack-Eye, because nobody else is going to come out of the lineup, then you plus there's the back-to-back. You might see him, you might see him in one of those in the second game. I think would be the more likely scenario if he does.
My guess would be the game against Colorado. Because everybody played, there's no reason to pull anybody in this for the next game against Utah. They probably would look to make some changes for the Colorado game, where they might want to take Jack-Eye out so they can bring in Engstrom, who is a better skater.
Right.
And with the way Colorado plays, it would make sense.
I hear McKinnon's a pretty good skater.
He's okay. I mean,
yeah. Okay. And
McCarr, one of the best in the world. It's fine.
So you're saying McCarr, McKinnon,
they're average at best.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah.
So bring in Engstrom, who you
is
put him
Colorado
on the
second. Colorado's the second game in the back-to-back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Vegas on Saturday, or is it?
Yeah, I think it is Saturday. Yeah, in the afternoon.
Yeah. All right. So Colorado at like 4:00. They're yeah.
Oh no, it's it's the Canadians in Utah, then it's in Vegas.
I thought it was Vegas.
Colorado.
Okay, I thought it was Vegas the second game. So I think it'd be. I still think the back-to-back might be more right.
Yeah.
So it would be Vegas. That's not an easy, mind you. That's throwing the kid in the fire too, though, right?
Well, they're all good teams right now.
I guess it doesn't matter which one of the three, especially though Vegas and Colorado. But hey, if you want to see what you got, that's the proverbial litmus test for sure. And then there's the other thing, the other possibility of why, the showcase, right? There were a lot of scouts. There were a lot of scouts in Laval on the weekend. I think that Engstrom is somebody that's being dangled and teams are asking about, because the kid is NHL ready from all accounts of what I see. I don't know that Montreal is the best fit for him, given how many
Who they
good
have.
left defensemen they have, given that they've got 360-point scorers. Like, he's showing that he's an offensive defenseman at this point, mobile. And Montreal is the only team since Montreal in the 70s to have 360-point scorers in the lineup, right? So really, another offensive defenseman, and especially one that shoots left, is not really what the Canadians need to add right now.
No.
So might he be showcased? But I, typically I don't see that. You either want him or you don't. And do you risk him getting injured in a friggin' NHL game, and then you showcase over, trade over everything? I don't think that often you see guys called up from the AHL to be showcased before they're traded. I mean, the scenario is run through all the time. People say, oh, maybe he's being up to be showcased, but you don't often see it, that the guy gets called up and then he gets traded, if you look back on history. So I don't know that would be the main reason, but it might be a partial factor. The fact is that he has earned the call up.
I think that's the main reason he got the call up. He earned it. And they do need another person with a 3-game road trip like that, especially going out west. It's hard to bring people out to meet the team. So you have someone who is ready to plug and play, and you can see where you can gauge where they're at in their development. Is the showcase part of it? Sure. I can't see why not. Every game that a player is on the ice is a showcase for them. They're pros. They're there to earn jobs. So
yes,
is he going to be part of a trade? Maybe. It could be that, I don't know, Strubal's being dangled and they want to. They'll need an extra guy there. There's so many options there.
Right. No, that's another thing. It could be Strubel, Jackeye, but more likely Strubel. I mean, I've mentioned it before that they've got a plethora of left defensemen, and I mean, Engstrom he's ready to play in the NHL right now. Like, there are teams that he could be plugged into the lineup, and I think play half decently. His skating is easily NHL caliber. He would be an above average skater at the NHL level right now. That's how good a skater he is. So, the Canadians, they've got Hudson, they've got Carrier, they got Matheson. He's not the ideal ad, and especially you're going on the road to Colorado, Vegas. You need some physical defensive defensemen in the lineup, and really, it doesn't make a pile of sense to have him play. In any of those games, really. Maybe Utah, the first one, but again, nobody deserves to come out based on the last game. I thought everybody was solid, and all the defensemen. So I don't see any of them coming out against Utah. And then, well, do you throw him in? But you do make a good point about Colorado, especially. I don't know that Vegas is the fastest team necessarily, but Colorado.
No. And they're the second of a back-to-back as well. So it would make sense you'd want a heavier player against Vegas, and then you'd want some fresh legs for the next day.
Yeah. Is that the back-to-back, or is Utah
Friday, Saturday?
So Vegas, okay. Well, then
Vegas, Colorado.
Then Colorado makes the most sense, I think. In the Saturday, And then also, he may not play at all. Laval's got the week off, right? Bring him along, let him practice with the team, see how he looks in practice. Give him give him the cookie of being with the team and saying, hey, even if he doesn't play, they're telling him, look, you're close, right? One more injury on defense and you're in, basically. And so there are several scenarios, and it'll be fun to see how it goes. But if the Canadians play poorly defensively the next two games, Colorado fast team, I wouldn't be surprised if Engstrom, they get a look at him. They take a look at him and see how he looks against what might be the fastest team in the league in Colorado.
Yeah, it's a good way to gauge where he's at. If he holds his own even on a third pairing, that would go a long way to convincing them that if we want to pull the trigger on another deal, we're ready. We have this guy who can step in.
Yeah.
Especially if they play him with Carrier.
Right. And I mean, he has played a fair bit in on the right side as well.
He has.
And he's fairly comfortable on the right. I don't know, like I would not throw him to the fire. Definitely not at this point on the right side. It's bad enough that you already got one kid playing on the right side that's left shot. I can't see them going with 5 left defensemen in the lineup.
No, it's. I know a lot of people don't really prescribe to the whole balance left and right deal, but if you've played defense and you've played your offhand, you know how much harder it is.
Yeah.
Sure, these guys, they're professional. They've practiced it. Some are much more used to it because they've done it for so long. But to switch back and forth really takes focus to be able to adjust without worrying about issues or mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when you're jumping from the AHL to the NHL.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I don't see him playing on the right if and when he gets in. You got to go play hockey?
Yeah, I'm going to be taking off here in a few minutes.
All right. Well, I won't take any more of your time up. Always a pleasure, Blain. And hey, maybe you can join us for a post game coming up. But I don't suspect. Well, the game on Friday, maybe if you're around. What is it, 4:00 or something? Or
it's a 4:00 Eastern start. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be 8:00 and be over about 8:00 in Halifax.
Yeah. Must be a Thanksgiving weekend down there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Good. Must be.
All right.
Well, hopefully
I can definitely do that.
Okay, I'll invite you post game on Friday. Sound good?
Sounds good. My apologies to everybody watching. They're gonna have to see my face again.
Okay. Yeah, you've been warned.
Yeah.
Blain Potvin, who has a fantastic podcast himself, by the way, Habs Unfiltered. Check it out. Great writer, the hockey writers. Once in a while, listen. I'm waiting for that next article from you, by the way, too, for my Patreon page. So
I've got a bunch of stuff I'm putting together. It just takes some time. That damn day job keeps getting in the way.
I know, way. He's also a sailor, by the way. So.
But I'm sober right now, so I'm not living up to my full potential.
Always a pleasure, Blain. Thanks for coming on at such short notice.
Hey, my pleasure. See you on
Enjoy
the
your
next
Sunday. Okay, bye. Blain Potvin, folks. Great guy, and so glad that he could come on and join us. But what a all good points, and let's take a look at some of the questions and the comments. see what people are saying here. Yeah, everyone's kind of, what we were touching on about possibility of showcase, possibility doesn't play, possibility does play. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But, like I think all of these questions have been answered. Like, is Engstrom being showcased? Yeah. Chris Hansen says Texier is much better than Veleno, Roy, Davidson. I mean, we'll find out, won't we? I don't know about that. Time will tell. Certainly, St. Louis didn't think he was worth $2 million. So, Mark, good to see you on Grant's podcast again, Blaine. Oh yeah, we're gonna get him out as much as can before he's off to sea again. The Analyst X. That's a new handle. Thanks for joining us. By the way, if you're watching this on X, Twitter, whatever, join the live chat and chime in. Tell us your thoughts. I'll probably read what you have to say, unless you say something that I disagree with. Oh, just kidding. I think Texier will be a good asset for MSL PK. Yeah, well, yeah, I mentioned that it's a possibility that you could see him killing some penalties. That's a good point, mainly because I already mentioned it. So, if you echo what I've mentioned, I'll always say that's a good point. Mark, who's going to sit for Engstrom to play, and do you think it's possible they brought him up to showcase him for another team? Right. Well, these are things that we discussed, and I think I answered that. Somebody asked here, what do I think his ceiling is? He could be his ceiling would be second pairing defenseman, mobile, that can play on your second power play, chip in 30, 40 points, good on, good in transition, really good with the puck. Now, do I think top 4 defenseman on a cup contender? That may be a stretch, but he's still pretty young. He's 22. If he could get stronger, play a little meaner, as he develops his at the pro level in North America, maybe on a good team he can be top, second pairing guy. But I don't know, 4 or 5 is kind of, I think, his ceiling at the NHL level. Now, will it be with Montreal? There's such a, he's Canadians have have quality and depth, and young depth on the roster and in the system. So I don't know that it would be in Montreal, but the way he's playing, never say never. I was wondering, Pierre, expected to see Pierre Gervais on here with a couple "told you so" tweets, but he must be busy today. Pierre's been championing calling up Engstrom for a while, and hey, I was 50-50 on this, like I am with most things. I predicted that Texier'd probably be signed, and I also didn't think that they'd call up Engstrom at this time, but right and wrong, as always seems to be a combo there. Brian Owen, Ron Davidson will get sent down. Florian should stay until at least after the Ottawa game. I haven't mind Davidson, and I know Marty has been quite complimentary of him. So I don't know that's that Davidson's going down at this point. I think Texier Probably, practice with the team for a bit. Davidson's been, he was there in training camp. He's been there a few games now. He's played okay, I think. I think that line's gotten some chemistry together. So I don't know. Davidson gets sent down. I think Marty's liked what he's seen, and he's said so. When you read the comments that he's made about him, Davidson certainly brings a lot more sandpaper than Texier. And I don't know, do they need another guy that, like Blaine was saying, doesn't hit, really? Is that the guy that they want in the lineup? I think he's more insurance than anything, right? It didn't cost him any assets, cost him $1 million. Long range, I think that they probably hope that Texier can go down and play Laval and help them go on a long playoff run. When New Hook gets back, Doc gets back, and such, he's not going to be in the lineup then. Engstrom will replace Matty at a lower cap hit. Yeah. He'll replace Marty. Marty's, I don't know what Marty's cap hit is right now. You said not to call him up yesterday, Grant. Well, I didn't say don't call him up. I just said I didn't think they would. Like I say, 50-50, right? Hey, where's your compliment on me saying that Texier probably signs with them? Freaking glass half empty again, eh? YTB Patty. Okay. Well, thanks for coming in, and I hope you feel good about getting that jibe in there. Didn't bother me. Getting called up and playing are two different things, right? I wouldn't call him up just to sit him in the stands necessarily, but with Laval off for a week, Montreal going on a road trip, 5-point game, give him a cookie, right? Bring him on the road trip. Let him know, hey, you're not that far off. Practice with the team, get some familiarity there, and it's all good. Will he play? That's a different story. But who do you take out? Who do you take out of the lineup? You're playing physical team Utah, Colorado, Vegas, maybe Colorado, maybe. But if you think that he's getting called up to play all 3 games on this Western trip, I think you might end up being disappointed. Chris Hansen, Habs will know by New Year's if they're buyers or sellers. 15 games between now and then. Yeah, they'll have a better idea. Nobody's running away with the East. Like, the Canadians could go, I don't know, 5-10 in the next 15 and still be in the because I don't think any teams in the Atlantic are gonna. It looks like it's gonna be, a lot of teams playing 500 to 600 hockey, and that's not gonna lead to a huge gap there. It could be up in the air. It could be a really interesting trade deadline this year with 24, 26 teams still heavily in the mix. How many sellers are there going to be? It might be tough to convince the fan base and the owner that, oh yeah, we're sellers, and you're 3 points out of a playoff spot or something like that. It's going to be really interesting this year. We can't have a team of no physicality. Dawson, Matheson. Well, Matheson's not soft. He brings some jam. Hudson give us enough offense in the back end. It's a cookie or an undisclosed injury to someone to showcase, probably. But we don't know exactly We don't know exactly all the reasoning. I do think, though, you you reward guys that are playing well in Laval, just as they rewarded Davidson. Now they're rewarding Engstrom. I don't know. Well, we need a 2C. Yeah. Kapanen's 2C. Kapanen plays exactly the way you want a 2C to play. I don't think the Canadiens need a 2C. Kapanen has shown that, and no teams are trading top 2 centers right now. I hate to break it to you, but you know, this idea that he's being showcased, and next week they're gonna pick up a 2C, maybe, but with every team except maybe 2 or 3 out of the running, and typically the teams at the bottom, their second line center isn't necessarily a second line center, isn't going to be better than Kapanen. I don't know. I've seen this all year. We need a 2C, and Kapanen has played fantastic, and people still, we need a 2C. Well, maybe, but right now they need a friggin' winger more than they need a center. That's what this has revealed the last couple of months. Newhook, Laine, Doc all injured. They need a winger. What did they just sign? They just signed a winger. I think they're pretty happy. They're pretty happy with Kapanen playing with Demidov right now, and so am I. It's not all about points with the second line center. It's about your all-round game, and Kapanen is playing so well all around. Like an Anthony Cirelli, like a Chandler Stevenson, like Braden Shen, all these guys that played second line center, Sam Bennett, all on cup winners in the last few years. None of them were 80-point scorers. So, I appreciate you chiming in, Brian, but you probably haven't been a regular person on this podcast, or that my feeling on that, and I'm just repeating it, but we'll see. They do need, I think, another forward now, whether it's to replace Kapanen or not. I don't know that's a necessity. I really don't, and that's a good thing. Kent and the Blues had a lot of talks in the offseason. Could something be brewing between them again? The Blues going notes. Well, Doug Armstrong has shown in the past that he doesn't, he doesn't think his team is out of it. 3 years ago, or the year they won the cup, right? They had worse record than they have now, and they ended up winning the cup that year. They have a good roster and a good team, and I don't think Armstrong's throwing in the towel on the club. I really don't. I'm going to bring up the standings here just to double check, but what they need to do is get their goaltender going. Does that sound familiar? Bennington. St. Louis is 20 points, so they are 5 points out of a playoff spot. With 60 games to go? No, I don't think they're giving up on the season. Thomas was hurt for a while. Bennington hasn't been playing well. Bennington gets going. This team's better than their record, and they've got a lot of young players that are only going to be getting better. And I don't know. Doug Armstrong is, when the team's not going well, he typically fires a coach or does something because he likes his roster. He did the year that they went all the way to the final. He did the year that he replaced the coach and brought in Montgomery, and they improved, right? He did the year he came into the dressing room when the team was underachieving and told him, we're not making changes. We're going with this group. You guys have to play better. So I don't know that I don't see St. Louis making a trade right now. That's just not Doug Armstrong's MO. It's not how he's wired. I think he thinks that this is a good team, and he's going to if anything, he might go the opposite way and try to bring somebody else in. But 2 months from now, if they're 10 points out of the playoffs at that point, then Jordan Kyrou is a possibility. But I don't know that Jordan Kyrou is what the Canadians are necessarily looking to add. I think they probably want to get a big power forward type addition to the top 9 would be my guess if they do go for a forward or a high end left center is a possibility, and then yes, they'd be bringing one in to complement Cappy and Suzuki. Yeah, he's played on the right side. Yes, he has. We talked about that too. A hockey playing podster, yes. Oh well, if it's any till I blew out my knee, I played a lot of hockey too. Yeah, played against Steve Yzerman. That's my claim to fame. Called up to Pembroke Lumber Kings when they were the Pembroke Royals. Played against Steve Yzerman, the PN Sportsplex. I was 17, he was 15, and he inspired me to go to college. I decided right then and there, okay, I'm not going to be a pro hockey player. This guy is. Thank you, Steve. I will go to college. Great intro. Let's talk hockey. Yeah, that's a in case people don't. It's a nod, a tribute to Badger Bob Johnson, who used to say it's a great day for hockey, and I put a little twist on it, having Dick Irvin say it's a great day to talk hockey, and I really appreciate people that like that intro. It's I think it's pretty cool. Michael Wared, hadn't seen Michael for a while. Are we becoming Bergie Basement, Matt? Okay, not sure what. Bergie was an expert dumpster driver. Well, Weiss, Pekka, Cousins, and about 3 others. Yeah, but I mean, come on. It's after 4 injuries, right? And they need bodies. They want Laval to compete too here. They're at the top of the standings, right? So yeah, bring in bodies so they can send Roy back and maybe send Davidson back. They'll probably keep Jack-Eye up for a bit. He brought some spark there, a little more size. So yeah. Oh, Mike Oxlong. That's a new name. Hey, Grant, love the show. Keep up the good work. Hey, man. I'm glad you're sitting back in the weeds and watching and enjoying. I appreciate you coming on live chat and saying something so kind. I appreciate it. Oh, Rick must have got free for a few minutes. I invited Rick on, but he's had a crazy. Well, he was already on. If you're check out our episode that we put out earlier today. We're going to look at draft prospects now. Prospect of the week, Habs prospect of the week, who was Adam Engstrom. We called that, eh? And the draft prospect of the week, who is a left-handed center with all sorts of grit. And I think the Canadians should look at him seriously in the first round. He's a riser. You know, I always have risers by the end of November that haven't been in the first round and end up being first rounders. Well, I found one in Sweden, and I think you should check it out. This kid's got lots of jam. Go have a look at the episode I had with Rick earlier today. It's I'd appreciate it. And so obviously with Rick. To me, Texier is a quicker, less physical Veleno, a forward who can get by at all three forward positions in case of injury to a regular. Well, there you go. Hasn't played any center the last 3 years, so I don't expect to see him at center with the Canadians, but certainly he has played center at the NHL level again before, so he could if emergency called for it. He's a good skater, mind you. I think Veleno is playing pretty, is skating pretty well right now, but he's not that physical, and I don't know that that's a great fit for the Canadians. He's insurance, right? 12-13 guy, or 13-14. Later on, when they get a little healthier, when guys start coming back, might be sent down to Laval, and he'd be a good player at the AHL level for sure. Thanks, Rick, for finding the time here. Texier is an upgrade over Veleno. Yeah, Veleno can play center though, and right now they kind of need that. Veleno, I haven't minded actually. He's kind of grown on me the last few games. He's been battling, competing. Texier, I don't know that he's necessarily a upgrade over Veleno right now. I don't know. Depends what you're, maybe a little more offense there, maybe a little quicker, but I don't know in the bottom six that's a less physical player than Veleno, one that hasn't been playing center. I don't know that he's more ideal right now as a kind of a bottom line guy. That's debatable, I think. Right now, Veleno's playing his role, a fourth line role, pretty effectively of late, and I haven't minded the way Veleno's played lately. He's battled, and I think you need that in the bottom six. Struble is out, in your opinion? Yeah. I don't see any reason why he would come out right now. He's been pretty steady with Hudson. Ole Mitchell's Grant, when do you get your first draft rankings? Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm doing a HabsCast now, talking about the Habs. So a lot of my time's being taken up with the following the Habs and their prospects. But I have started to dive into the draft, and I will be doing a rankings probably, I don't know, February, March. Later on in the year, I'll put out some rankings, but it's not my focus this year. I certainly am, I'm going to follow the draft, but right now there's no use me putting out rankings when I haven't, I don't do rankings till I'm comfortable with what, having seen everybody enough to put out a decent ranking. But once the World Junior Challenge, the top prospects games, the World Juniors, when all of this and then interest comes up too, I found like people don't really get that interested in the draft till February or so, and then when teams have dropped out of the race too, right? Especially the halves, when the last couple of months, anytime I put up something draft related, it's like 100 views, and then put up something halves related, and it's a few thousand. So um, probably February, March, I'll put up a top 30 and then go from there. I appreciate you asking, and yes, I'm gonna keep doing draft rankings. Probably no draft guide this year because it takes probably 8 weeks of about 60 to 80 hours of my time, and I'm doing the HabsCast now. This is my main focus and and I'm having a blast. So, but yes, I will do draft rankings, special shows, and what I'll probably end up doing is putting up rankings on my Patreon page later on, that people who subscribe to either this YouTube channel, where I also add you as a Patreon on Patreon, or my Patreon page, which is on HabsCast on Patreon. Thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Cash Fan 78. Hey Grant, do you think Raw has gotten a real chance to showcase his skills playing in the bottom six? Do you think he should be ahead of Balduke in the top six? That'd be the only guy that you would consider replacing him with. I don't like him. I think they want to have a bit more size and grit in the top six, and that considering that you've got Demidov, Caulfield right on the wing, you want Slav on one, with either Caulfield or Demidov, and Bolduc with the same thing, either Caulfield or Demidov. So I don't know that at this point, third line makes more sense for him. What they want to do, he's not going to be a top six player with the Canadians. I don't think. That's not his future. If he does make the club down the road, it's gonna be with improved defense, with him playing, getting it, that he's got to play like he did it for World Junior teams. You remember he started out third lines and stuff, and proved that he could play well enough defensively and compete well enough to play third line role, and then eventually got moved up with Bedard. But that's what he needs to show, is that he can play a bottom six role at the NHL level first, and prove to Marty that he can handle the rigors and check and compete well enough in a bottom six role. First things first, right? And if he can do that, then who knows, down the road maybe he gets a look in the top six. But he's had opportunities, and he hasn't wowed the last couple of years. He hasn't produced. He hasn't necessarily played. I haven't minded his call up this time. His last game, I thought he competed. He competed okay, but he hasn't produced, and he hasn't wowed. So I don't know. I don't see a future for Roy with the Canadians, but I'm not completely writing him off at this point either. Michael, Wi-Fi will sit if his hitting game stays on vacation. Geez, the other night he had 5 I don't know if it was the last game or the one before. He had 5 or 6 hits. So Mark has a really good point here. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Hey, this is like a special emergency podcast given the news. I didn't give people much heads up, but 925 on the people have tuned in so far. That's pretty impressive. I really appreciate the support. Just got the news why Texier wasn't good enough for the Blues' top 12 forwards. Well, they've got a lot of good young forwards, and this probably answers it. 8 games played, 1 secondary assist, no goals. That probably explains it better than anything. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, Scotty just sent me 100 DOP. I'm glad there's no $sign this time, because that threw me off last time. I thought I was getting $100, but last night, thanks, Scotty. I got you just gave me 100 pesos from Dominican Republic. Hey, a bueno. Thank you very much. Oh, that's Italian, but thank you. Rodney Redcliffe, Philip Forrestberg, and play on the second line. Put Slobkowski back on the first. Okay. I like that spelling. It's kind of, I don't know if you're probably trying to be funny on purpose, and you almost made me laugh. Yeah, well, Philip Forsberg would be a nice ad, that's for sure. What about Mikko Rantanen? Maybe maybe he's going to be on the trade block now. The Habs are going to get Philip Forsberg. That's who they need. There you go. Well, I don't know if they can see the trees for the forest, but yeah, that would be a nice ad for sure. I like Veleno's tenacity as a checker. Takes time to fit in. He's played like 15 games. He has grown on me. He really has, Oh, HabsCast 3978. Oh, hello, Grant. How you doing? Veleno has been very impressive the past few games on both sides of the ice. Skating has been stellar. Yeah, I haven't minded, actually. I meant to make room for Engstrom. Someone has to come out, no? Well, but how do you know they're making room for Engstrom? He's called up. Delgado was playing well. He got called up 4 times, and he still hasn't gotten the lineup. So, if either Struble or Jack-Eye struggle, like I was saying to Blaine, in the next 2 games, then we might see Engstrom against Colorado. He brings he brings more speed than Jack-Eye, that's for sure. I always noticed Texier in game reviews, so I'm interested to see how he fits. Well, I wouldn't get too excited about it. He's kind of just added depth. Roy's lacking size, grit, and skating. Well, those aren't his fortes, that's for sure. The analyst, Grant, would you give Josh Anderson a shot in the Cole Suzuki line? Stemislav Kapi experiment is going very well. Yeah, you know what? Maybe what's that? 4 goals in 6 games for the power horse. He might get rewarded with something like that. He has played with Cole and Susie before. He would be, he would bring elements that, right? The forecheck, the digging the puck. Yeah, it's a consideration. Put Bolduc back third line for now. Bolduc was a 4th liner last year, right? It was his rookie year, really. And I don't know that he's ready yet. He's just 22. He's still got to figure some things out, perhaps, before he's really ready for a first line or second line role, or if he will ever be. Maybe, on a contender, third line is where you want Bolduc down the line. But you know what? That is Josh tends to kind of like Galley, where he'll go through periods where he gets his scoring confidence back, right? And I guess I should put myself back on the stage here, right? Gets his scoring confidence back, and he plays effectively and keeps going. So yeah, I might, and on this road trip, that might be something that they consider. He Josh played 18 minutes last game, so he's getting the ice time anyway. I would not be surprised if you see him in these heavy games playing on the wing with Caulfield and Suzuki. I have not been Bolduc has not been great since that quick start. I don't know that he deserves to be in the top 6 right now. Question: do you think waiving Blais was a mistake? I don't know. I didn't see a whole lot from him last night. I don't know. I mean, you could say, well, it was a mistake. It was a mistake because now they've got 4 injuries, but you can't predict that, right? No, I mean, basically he lost the spot to Kapanen, really, and Veleno is your extra forward, right? They didn't want to go with 2. They didn't want to go with 2 extra forwards, and Veleno has shown that he can play. A more versatile player, right? He can play. He can kill penalties. He can play center. He can play wing. And you don't mind him sitting in the stands either. But essentially, Blais lost his spot to Kapanen, and I don't disagree with that. Oliver Kapanen's a lot better player than Sammy Blais. Texier's going to give Ovechkin a run for his money. Yeah. But the reaction from Habs fans gives that impression. Well, I don't know. Getting Texier probably means we won't see any trade action. There's Francois showed up. Haven't seen Sheldon. I guess he's away this weekend. Usually he's here. He's in everyone. Every live chat. Getting Texier probably means we won't see any trade action for a while, or else Hughes would have waited. Market might be totally dry until trade deadline. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Wi-Fi needs to hit guys who are close. Don't chase a hit. Yeah. No audio, Grant. I don't. I think my audio's working. Yeah, I was joking about Ratnan. Oh, believe me, they're not trading him. Did you see last playoff? He's not going anywhere. 2 Nashville scouts were at the Habs game Thursday, Laval Friday, and Saturday game for the Habs. And their top pro scout, St. Louis Blues VP of Hockey Ops, was at their games as well. Yeah, well, I think that there's certainly, people are looking. I don't know, but the Canadians, they have to be shopping, I think, and you never know. You never know. I think if any team's going to make a significant trade at this point, the Canadians are one of the ones that would be most likely. and Nashville makes sense. They really do. The Magnum 60, like your show, guys, far more than the other guy with the big ego from another podcast. Would be cool to sit and watch a game with you. I appreciate that. Yeah, all you guys. I'm gonna make a. I got to get down to a couple of games this year. Maybe, if we can find a bar restaurant that wants to do a remote in Montreal, that'll certainly be an option. I mean, I want to get down and with Rick anyways and get together, and maybe we can do I don't know how many of you live in Montreal, but if there's enough of it looks like there's enough interest in it, I certainly you know would be up for getting down, doing a remote and a meet and greet type thing with a bunch of the people that this Habs community that we've been building here. It's pretty cool. I'm going to go for a little longer here because we've got 1,000 people that have tuned in. Michael Ware, great show. Keep it up. Hey, thanks, Michael. I appreciate it. We'll get a few more. We'll answer a few more here. Brassois Bedard. I like the Anderson Evans combo in the past few games. I wouldn't touch it. Yeah, well, true. They have been playing pretty solid together. I still feel that Cole Susie with Bolduc. We'll figure it out. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. It would be a reward for Josh too, right? Be nice if he got back to his 25 goal, 20 to 25 goal, and certainly that would be a lot more possible playing with those guys than playing with Evans, but he brings elements that would really help Susie and Caulfield. I think they haven't been producing a ton lately. Susie and Caulfield, they kind of cooled down a bit. So getting them rolling again wouldn't be a bad thing, right? We got up over 1,000 people now that have tuned in. That's for a Sunday night. That's pretty cool. So we'll keep her going for a bit here. Always great comments. By the way, if you're on Twitter or X watching this, and quite a few are, join, YouTube HabsCast. Come on board here. Come to the live chat and contribute. We've had a bunch of new people here tonight, and bring them up, bring them on. Maxime Boisvert, that's a new name. You don't call up Engstrom to let it sit. Yeah. Well, you don't sit guys that don't deserve to sit either, right? So, who after the last game would you sit? Florian's probably not. Arbor's probably not coming out. Struble, I don't know. I've been fine with Struble. I think he's been steady as a rock this year, and he brings grit and size. So I don't know. That that someone comes out. Certainly not for the first game. If somebody struggles, then maybe you bring them for the second game. But I still think, and Blaine and I kind of agreed on it, that you're most likely to see him Colorado for the second game of the back-to-back. Fast team like Colorado would be the most likely game that you would see Engstrom in. Certainly, I'd be shocked if he played all 3 games, because there's really nobody that you would say has to come out. I don't think any defenseman is playing that poorly right now. Violet Deliriums. I don't think we have much choice other than Bolduc right now in top 6. Well, didn't he play on line 2 with Kyrou last year and find some success? He played really predominantly fourth line. There wasn't very much. Blues fans didn't like the trade from the get-go. Yeah. He hasn't, I don't know. I'm not that excited about him right now. Francois, $5. Go Grant. Thank you. He's only 22 and he's having some, just like the first half of last year, he wasn't knocking it out of the park. That's for sure. Yeah, I won't be going on with Star and D'Amico. Why would I do that? Party at Grant's house. Yeah, there you go. The Magnum. I wonder who the other podcast guy you're talking about is, but you're talking about the one I'm thinking. You're totally wrong. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't like to be cutting down other podcasters. Certain one that I'm sure that he's probably talking about, I have to thank him for even being where I am right now doing this. So I'm certainly not going to say anything bad about who I think you're probably talking about. I should have probably I should have read that before. I tend to just click on and read and not necessarily scan. And I probably shouldn't even have read that one. But I think that an issue with Bolduc is that we don't have anyone feeding him the same way Robert Thomas was last year. Yeah, but you know what? He's not getting open either in that bumper spot. Suzuki will find him if he gets open. I've also found that his shot, when they have been feeding him in the bumper, it's been off. It was a small sample size too last year, right? And teams will, they do a lot of video studying, and I'm sure Bolduc, if you notice in the playoffs, he wasn't good on the power play necessarily. He wasn't. The only time he played with Thomas was on the power play because he was basically the fourth liner. But by playoff time, Bolduc wasn't that effective on the power play anymore because teams, they studied it and saw that, okay, we take away this pass from Thomas to Bolduc in the bumper spot, and teams have been doing that so far this year pretty well. But I also find that he's not necessarily getting open, and part of it might be game planning from other teams, right? Knowing, okay, you cut this off and you don't let him get that shot in the bumper. So if he doesn't, then I don't know. I don't see him as an elite passer or doing a lot of other things on the power play other than maybe having a good shot and getting it off on occasion from the bumper spot. But I think that Slav enables Susie Caulfield, but Demidov Slav is clearly a thing to me. Yeah, Demidov, Slav, and Cappy. Actually, I like that trio, and there's a real potential there for those three. I mean, what a young line, right? 63 years combined. When Marty put those three together, I thought, oh, that's interesting. Their first game together looked good. Second game, not so much. So that's why he kind of toyed with it a bit. The last game, then Slav was fantastic. And it looks like him and Demidov are starting to get some chemistry. But also Cappy's a nice guy to have with those two. Let them concentrate on the offense and get Slav and get Cappy playing an all-round role. Have yet to return home to Montreal to live, but hopefully sooner or later, West Coast for now. Okay, there you go. Well, I don't know if I'll get together for a beer with you, but everybody's invited to my place for a beer sometime. If you're ever in Ottawa, look me up. Baluk Demidov is worth a shot, and you could put Slav back with the first line. Yeah, well, and Andy's the other possibility. Slav is ready to leave home and drive his own line. He's really stepping up in a way. That's a good point. He kind of defers to the other two guys sometimes too, right? B56, Veleno is done. I've liked Veleno the last few games. He's winning a lot of boards battles and playing a good bottom six role. So no, I don't think he's done at all. I think he came in, worked hard in the off season, actually improved his skating, and now he's getting comfortable, and he looks like a viable bottom six player right now for me, the way he's played the last 5 or so games. I agree. Bolduc's position is really questionable right now for some reason. He doesn't create openings, and he's very easy to read for the opposite team right now. Yeah, I hope that changes, because he does have how many guys in the last 20 years have had back-to-back 50-goal seasons in the queue? In the last 15, I think it's been 2, and he's one of them. The guy can score goals, and 19 last year, right? Most of them in the second half. There's potential there, but he doesn't look like he's gonna, doesn't look like a 30-goal scorer anytime soon with Montreal. But he's 22. The NHL's the hardest league in the world to adapt to. It can take time, and we'll give him some time to adapt here. Okay, I think I've been talking too much. This weekend I did a pregame, intermissions, postgame last night, 2 podcasts today, and my voice is starting to go. So I'm going to wrap this up soon here, folks. I do appreciate all of the all of the questions. So yeah, when you're talking about who's my favorite media personalities who covers the Habs? Oh, I don't know. I really enjoy Mitch Melnick. I think Mitch is top of the line. But there's a pile of good ones here. We're spoiled. We're spoiled with the Canadians, and there's a pile of good. I don't like to necessarily single too many out. There's a pile of good ones. I have a relationship going back with Brian, so I'll always mention Brian Wild too. But I like a bunch of them quite a bit. But I find Mitch pretty entertaining. I'm a big music guy too, and we're kind of from the same era, so I can relate to Mitch Melnick quite a bit. He's one of the best. Slav Demidov chemistry was noticeable when they moved Demidov to power play 1 versus Canucks. Definitely captain is doing well with them. Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll get a few more in here. They say my voice is going. I like the new confidence Slav skating with the puck. Wasn't he good last game? Don't put him back on the first line right away. where he just gives the puck to others. Well, that's what I was trying to say. Like, he defers, put him with the kids, and he has to. I think his mindset's more, okay, I got to drive this line a little more. So, no, I really like the potential of that trio. Cap and then looks so mature and calm. He's been a real surprise. I think his style of play is low key, and fans misinterpret it as not being good. Oh man, he's a cerebral player, smart. He's he drops back for the defenseman all the time. Typically a center necessarily do that, but he reads them. He reads what's going to be happening, and he pops back for Hudson all the time. Just so smart, and the short shifts too. He is so unselfish. He comes off the ice. The puck's going up. Could be a 3-on-2, and he'll change. Right. Not many guys will do that 35 seconds into a shift, but Cappy, team first guy. Well, I grew up in a complete hockey family, like grandfathers, uncles, father, cousins. They live and breathe hockey, and you can just tell that he's, he knows the game inside out. He's a keeper. I love Cappy. Francois, well, he doesn't score. I think Bolduc's role on power play might still have been good. Key to good power play yesterday, because they were collapsing on him. Yeah, to a certain extent. I don't know. I'm not crazy about taking Slav off of that. Especially if he's playing with Demidov, keep them together on the first power play too. Let that chemistry build with them together on man advantage as well. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Slav has the most, or did have the most power play goals on the team. He's got to get in front of the net more. And I think hopefully that's why Marty's doing it, to kind of wake him up to that. Not worried about Bolduc. Oh, nobody's worried about him. Just don't put too high expectations on him. I like how Captain is starting to annoy the other team. You see stuff going on after the play or behind the play. Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe people. We soft. There was a narrative that got started, and I think it was somebody in the media somewhere that Captain is a soft player. I mean, basing it on his first 15 games in the NHL last year? He's finding his way, right? But I watched him in Liga, SHL. Like, he goes to the front of the net, hacks and whacks, takes all kinds. I saw him in scrums after the whistle dozens of times, in the SHL Liga, and takes it all. He's tough. He's tough kid. There's no softness in Oliver Kapanen, and I think people are starting to appreciate and notice that was a bogus narrative that somebody started. And well, Scotty, hey, I appreciate the 200 pesos again, my friend. Thank you for contributing. I don't know, are you in Dominican Republic, or is that why you keep sending pesos? It's kind of cool. I appreciate the support. Trust me on that. And hey, we'll see you. We'll see you on the flip side. Derek Randall, Nashville scouts at the last 2 games. Hey, Derek, thank you for contributing. Yeah, well, people have been mentioning that Nashville was that game, and also in Laval, right? So, I don't. Nick Hague, Montreal's not trading for a defenseman, I don't think. Ryan O'Reilly, possibility. I mean, the obvious answer is Engstrom being one of the one of those pieces, right? I don't know, Engstrom in a first or something like that. Who knows? He's going to have to start moving his feet more. Yeah, Brian seems like a really nice guy. Yeah, Brian's good. Good people. We work together on recruits, and yeah, solid guy. Grant's interaction with the audience is what's separating from the competition right now, and it isn't even close in that aspect. Hey, I enjoy it, right? Nobody else is really doing this to this extent, anyways. I want to. I mean, I get ideas that things that topics that I don't think of talking about, and people ask really good questions on here, and we've built a good community. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to, I realize there's a lot of Habs podcasts, and I want to be a little unique, and I think this is the niche that I've found where I can provide something a little different for people, and so I'm going to keep doing this, as many live podcasts as I can, and it's you people that are making this work, right? By coming on, by being intelligent, by being respectful, not only to me but to other people on here. Like, this has been, I mean, I've been parts of podcasts before where they there's a lot of garbage that you see, but there's very little here. It's been great, and because of that, I think it's growing at a very good pace. I mean, 1177 people, 1183. Like, the numbers are great. Considering I've only been doing this for 2 months. Wow. So, and then people also contributing monetarily. I mean, I didn't necessarily expect that, but it's a pleasant surprise, and I truly appreciate that too. So, the more people support this, both in numbers and financially, hey, the more I'll do it, and we're going to build quite a fun group here, a fun Habs community, that's for sure. Real hockey chat with Grant. There you go. Amazing, you have your niche. Right on. I've lived in several places. There's no hockey city like Montreal, and the fans are awesome. Couldn't have said it better myself. Drum Dude, congrats, Grant. You deserve the accolades. Always knowledgeable hockey talk on here. Perfectly said, Drum Dude. And you're one of the best too. I always make a point when I see your texts. I know that they're good ones, and I like people being optimistic and kind, and I do get revved up on occasion. It's usually when people are, I don't know, sarcastic or acerbic and the like, and I mean, I can be right back, eh? There's Johnny Golden. There's another one of my favorites. Johnny Kapanen is only going to get better. He's not at his ceiling yet. Oh, frig, he's 22 years old. Thanks, Johnny. I'm in DR for years, but born in Montreal. Went to 2 parades, moved 20 years ago. Yeah, so you are in the Dominican, eh? Okay, well, I think that's pretty cool that you're supporting me with pesos. I mean, like I say, I got a little overexcited the first time with the $sign and 100, but it's all good, my friend. I appreciate the support, and that's pretty cool that somebody's watching from the Dominican Republic. That's very, very cool. Thank you. All 151 watching. Please leave the chat 1 second to like. There you go. Yeah. Where do you get the number 151? Oh, I guess it says that on YouTube or whatever. Okay. I know I've got a clicker or whatever in the top corner. 1,231 different people have viewed it so far, and a lot of them on X. That's pretty cool. The only thing I miss about Montreal is hockey and my mom. There you go, eh? And Lafleur's hot dog or a smoked meat. You're saying Lafleur was a hot dog? We complain about our goaltending, but we'll be facing Utah, who have advanced stats, says they're a top 5 team for expected goal differential, but goalies are screwing it for them more than Montreal. Well, hopefully, Montreal got back on track in part because Montreal's goalie played as well as Toronto's for a change the other night. And, it's important that every now and then your goalie plays as well or outplays the other guy. And that hadn't been on Montreal's skid. That hadn't been happening. And you just can't, you can't have a winning recipe when your goalie is getting outplayed every game. Okay, folks, it's been an hour and 30 minutes. My voice is gone. I got to rest up here a bit. Really appreciate you tuning in again. Great numbers, great support, and we'll see you live. Certainly after the game that's at 4:00. I'll do one there, but I don't know about the late game. There isn't much use, I don't think, in trying to do a post game at 1 a.m, right? I mean, if people demand it, I will, but probably won't do it for the really late games. But anyway, I gotta go let my voice heal up here for a day or two. I really appreciate everything, guys and girls, and have yourselves a fine rest of the Sunday night, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.